Saul got himself back and ministry have started. But then in chapter 1 of Galatians 5 to 21 and chapter 2, he had to go for training. First was self-training. But at a point he realized that self-training without human being to look at what he's doing may make all his labors to end. And so in Galatians chapter 2, he decided to go and meet the elders from find him and correct him and know, you have done this okay, you have not done this and that and that. And that was what he did, because he recognized that somebody has to make you if you must be made. So, what about Jesus? The calling and ordination of Jesus to be the Savior of the world was very clear. But the question of who made you had to be also addressed by Jesus before he ventured into ministry, before he ventured into service. He said, what? Even Jesus had to go through training. The Bible tells us that he learned obedience through what he suffered. Have you read that before? Hebrews chapter 5, I think verse 7 or thereabout. But then, in Matthew chapter 3, from verse 13, from verse 1, John was baptizing and ministering, and sinners, and adulterers, and murderers, and thieves, and evil people were all going to him for baptism. Are you listening? And as the people came, he was telling them about Jesus. And suddenly, the Jesus he was attacking, he looked up and saw the person, saw Jesus he was speaking about, not attacking. Jesus that he was addressing and telling them that, look, there is one that is coming before me. I'm not qualified to lose the latchet of his shoes. As he was baptizing people, he looked up and behold, he saw that Jesus is talking online. For what? Why was Jesus in the same line, baptism? John was inside the water. The people were coming. Adulterers were coming. He will baptize them and they will tell them, don't commit adultery again. Thieves will come, baptize them. So the baptism of John was meant for thieves, robbers, adulterers, and fornicators. And anybody you see there file up is what? Either a thief or a robber or an adulterer. For Jesus Christ, my friends, you need to look at the training. He came from heaven for ministry. I hope you know. And to save the world. That is the Savior, the Lamb that takes away the sins of the world. But there is training he has to go through. There is training he has to go through. So he moved all the way to Jordan, where Jesus Christ was, where John the Baptist was baptizing, and followed the line. And John was baptizing. After this one, next sinner will come. He will baptize. After that, next one, maybe a soldier who has collected some things by force. You say, don't collect. Now, the next turn, the last person, because after all the people, the last man on the line was Jesus. And he said, what are you doing here? You are the one that will baptize me and not me. And Jesus said, suffer it to be so. Allow it. Jesus had to go that way because it is necessary to save the world. And then in Matthew chapter 21, there was an occasion in the temple where Jesus was driving out people that were doing some nasty thing. And the Pharisees came and asked him, by the way, whose authority, who give you authority to do this thing that you are doing here? And Jesus Christ looked at them and said, okay, I am going to answer your question, but you are going to